Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode, we did our low flyby of Kerbal, the sun, with our unmanned probe. Got the science, and then was able to set up an Eve flyby to gather a little bit more science with that particular probe. And now it is preparing to return to Kerbin. But before we do that, we kind of missed an optimal window for a Moho transfer. We are still in a pretty decent transfer window for Moho, just not optimal. But it should be fine. We're talking like a total delta V of around 5,400 meters per second, which, with our new propulsion system on the longbow, that is easily achievable. And, you know, the longbow is upgraded and resupplied and ready to go to get a crew on board and then make this effort to get to Moho to do a manned mission that will land on the surface and return. So that is the plan. What we need is a lander that is going to do this on Moho. And yeah, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do here, is get a lander together. Now, for this lander, I also want this to be the return vehicle that will bring the Kerbals back to Kerbin. So that's what we're going to do. And like the Duna mission, I'm going to make this a 2 Kerbal flight. I think I could probably get away with 3 with the amount of life support we have on board. But I don't want to push it. So we're going to go with another 2 Kerbal flight. And see how that works. Now, actually, do I want to use that capsule? Hold on. That's 2.05 tons. This is 1.57 tons. So this one's actually probably the one that I want to use. Alright, now. It's going to need a docking port. That doesn't look odd. I mean, it would work. It kind of looks like it's wearing a funny hat. Yeah, okay. We'll go with it. It's going to also need parachutes. If this is going to be the return vehicle. We don't need the parachutes for Moho because Moho doesn't have an atmosphere. I think I'm going to have to put it over top of the flag there, unfortunately. Put that a little bit higher. Let's see, where's the center of mass? Okay, I need to make sure that it stays above the center of mass. I mean, it shouldn't really affect much, but... Alright, we're going to need our payload. We're going to use this little payload bay here. Going to also make sure that we have our heat shield there. Alright, inside the payload bay. What are we going to put in here? I'd like to put in some batteries. Because alright, this is where our science experiments are going to be. Now, how many of them do I want? Three might be a good idea. Upper atmosphere, lower atmosphere. Well, there is no atmosphere, is there? No, there isn't. 2 should be fine. 2 then. Now to make sure that they're not going to poke outside of there. Actually, let's do it like this. Mystery goo. Okay, so we have the materials bay, we have the mystery goo, and then we're gonna have the barometer, a negative gravioli detector. Okay. Seismic scanner. Thermometer. Okay. Anything else? Atmospheric sounder. Atmospheric fluid spectrovariometer. No, shouldn't need any of that. I think that's probably good for what we're going to want to bring to the surface. Alright. Now. Oh, I already have this for Moho. That's interesting. We're going to need a decoupler. There we are. Now, what I'd really want to use for an engine is this guy. This magnetoplasma dynamic thruster. Problem is, this needs 400 electric charge per second. I actually was doing some experimenting with designs and what I might be able to do kind of in between episodes, and I think I have a pretty good idea of how I want to lay this out, because what I'm going to have to basically treat this is that we're going to be using electric charge as kind of a part of a bipropellant, because then we have the lithium and then we have the electric charge. So we're going to want to bring a large supply of electric charge with us, which means batteries. And I think I'm going to use procedural batteries to do that. going to put 3 of these in here. Alright, how much do you... 39... 23.97. 23.97, 23.97. So that's going to be quite a bit. Now, if I do a third here, shape is going to be a cone. Top is going to be that. There we go. Okay. Now, we need lithium. We need lithium. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go here. I'm going to grab these. Put a couple of those on. And then I'm going to want some lithium tanks. Those right there. And that is going to give us 6,578 meters per second of delta V with a 3.39 thrust to weight ratio on Moho with this engine. So this engine should do everything that I need. And then what I'm going to want to do here is put some landing legs on there. I get these lined up as well as I can. I think that'll do. Alright. I want you to be retracted. There we are. Okay. That's with 10 minutes of burn. Total burn time. The thing is, these batteries aren't going to last that long. What we're going to need to do is we're going to need to produce a lot of electric charge. And the way I do it on the other modules, I use this big nuclear reactor. Now, we have some other reactors here. This reactor provides 60 electric charge per second. So that's 120 electric charge right there per second. I mean, better than nothing. This one does 36 electric charge, so that's not going to help me at all. This does 200 electric charge per second. Those two reactors will suffice to provide all of the power that are needed to run that engine. But now we're starting to get pretty heavy. Thrust to weight is still 2.37 with a delta V of 4,400. But I do also have this one. Produces 100 electric charge per second for each one, which, between the two of them, will only supply half the thrust that are needed. So let's see, if I went to like thrust limit 50%, right? 1.36 thrust to weight ratio. It will still work. Alright, here's what we're going to do. To save weight, we're going to run with these. This will be able to run at full thrust for a certain amount of time, as long as the battery holds out. And then it'll run off the reactors after the batteries run out at about half thrust. Which should still be sufficient. And if we turn the engine off at all, the reactors will recharge the batteries. Now, we're going to need some heat reduction here. Required cooling is 225 kilowatts. Alright. Max cooling 1049 kilowatts. Really? Let me just make sure that these require cooling 225 kilowatts. I gotta remember that that's a thing I need to turn off. Silly phone. I don't know if it comes through on the microphone or not. If core heat transfer 50 kilowatts, max cooling. No, I think I need to look at the core heat transfer. Is what I need. So I need 225. No, I don't want to use those. 200 kilowatts. I mean, those would work, theoretically. I mean, they don't look terrible. Here's what I'm going to do. Do these things need to be toggled or not? They need to be activated. Okay. So let's set up action groups. Custom 2 is going to be toggle the radiator. Toggle the radiator. Custom 3 is going to be toggle the reactor. Okay. Let's see. There's going to be some other parts I'm going to need here. Where's the... There's the hatch. Okay. I need some utility parts. Utility parts. I'm going to need this guy. There. Extend the ladder. Let's make sure that... yeah, that should be fine. Alright. It's going to need some life support. It's going to need some life support. 46 days of life support on those 2 cans. (4,000 meters per second, 2.23 thrust to weight. Again, at 50% thrust, we're talking what? 1.11. It should work. It should work. I'm just going to be very mindful of how much electric charge that it has, how much, you know, throttling I'm doing, that sort of stuff. Okay, we're going to call this the Moho lander. Save it. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the pad for a second. So you need to make sure that those reactors aren't going to overheat with these radiators. Alright, it sits good on its legs. Doesn't look unbalanced or anything like that, so that's good. If I were to try to, you know, make it wiggle, it seems pretty stable. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna have to... I think I might need to replace these cans. I should probably just do that gravity scan. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the gravity scan. Keep the experiment. Sure, why not? Okay, so 2 should activate the radiators. 3 should power on the reactors. Available power. Core temperature. Electric charge. Everything is working. Excellent. Engine runs. Electric charge is dropping. Just make sure that it will continue to run. Thrust right now is at 0.7 kilonewtons. I mean, it doesn't like being in an atmosphere, so... Specific impulse is at 40.3 seconds, which is really bad, but... Again, they're not it's not an atmospheric engine. Thrust is at 0.6 kilonewtons. Requirements met is at 75%. That's interesting. We're out of electric charge and we're running off the reactors. Okay. Good. And then electric charge returns, or refills, once we shut that off. Alright. I think the design will work. We're going to go ahead and recover the vessel. Because it actually has some science on board. So now I can actually spend 300 science on something. I'm not sure what I would do yet, but, you know, should be fine. What we need here is RCS. Let's see, is there a better way to do life support here? And I could do the procedural life support cans. I guess 24 days. I go with that texture. What texture do I want to go with? Just that? Soyuz green? I can go with that for life support? Maybe. I think it should be alright. Okay. So. For RCS control. These radiators are going to make RCS control slightly interesting. Let's see, if I were to lower these slightly. No, I am going to need... As much as I like these radiators, I think I'm gonna have to go with a different design. Hold on. Let's take those off for a minute. We're gonna need magnetoplasma dynamic RCS blocks. Let's see. Let's orient them there. Okay. RCS thrusters. Now I could also put RCS thrusters actually on. Can I actually put them on here? Oh, that is just behaving weird. Okay. want to put those there? I think I might. The problem is with putting these up here is that they're angled. Because this is sloped. If you were to put them on there, that would work. I think that might work. As long as you're not going to interfere with the actual docking mechanism, which I don't think they will. Okay. We don't need any monopropellant. We can take that out. Okay. Now, we need the radiators back. So we need to use a different radiator. $50. It's $225, right? $225. That's also $50. Oh, hold on. That's $150. Actually, that's overkill. And what I could do is just do 2 of them like that. Let's see, if I were to do 2 of them like this, 2 of them like that. That would be what? 200, right? Because these are 50. And then do that. That'd be another 200. I think that would work. Toggle the radiator. Toggle the radiator. Toggle the radiator. Actually, would I even need that one? So this would be 150, 150, 300. Okay, that would be 300. Let's redeploy the legs. And then let's save it again. And let's put it back out on the pad again. All right. 2, 3. Nope. Core temperature is overheating. Okay. That is insufficient. Okay. I guess we're gonna have to break out the big ones. No, that's unnecessary. Let's see, what if I use these instead? This may be overkill, but go ahead and put them in there. Go back to custom 2, tell them to toggle them. Toggle. Toggle. Okay. Save. And let's run one more test. And if this works, we just need to pick which Kerbals are going, and then fly this thing up there. Oh, I gotta put a big old booster on it, don't I? Yep. Alright, there we are. Deploy the radiators. That's actually perfectly fine. Extend the ladder. I'm going to test that thing out too. And activate the reactors. Temperature's holding steady. Reactors are good. Those work. Excellent. Alright, let's EVA Jeb here, and let's see, can we climb down the ladder? Indeed we can. Don't want to climb all the way off. I'll be able to open that. I'll be able to do everything there. Okay, good. Actually, I may want a ladder over there. Board. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Alright, let's get those legs into a retracted position. There we are. Let me go ahead and actually make a put that ladder on both sides. Okay. Now, we're going to want a stack decoupler there. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do... that. I can put a little piece of structural guarding there. Alright. And then for payload fairing is what I want. We're gonna do that. See, this thing is 8 tons. Might want a slightly larger rocket. Okay. There we are. All right. I want to make sure that this thing is autonomous, can be controlled. Oh, speaking of communitrons. This thing does need an antenna. Here we go. Let's see. Let me put that on there. Command and control. We're going to want 2 of these for the reaction wheels. There you go. Engine is going to be this engine. Oh, I actually want to switch this back to Kerbal. Okay. And for this, I'm gonna want, let's see, stack decoupler. What do we got? $47.77. We probably have enough to reach orbit, but if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. Let's throw some Thors on here because why not? That'll give us an additional 906 meters per second of delta V. All right. Now, I am going to want some amount of solar panels on this thing because we're going to need to keep this thing charging, and I don't want to turn the reactors on if I don't have to. Toggle the solar panels. Alright, let's make sure that this thing's set up for launch. Thrust awaits 1.28 with just the solid boosters. Alright, launch clamps. Launch clamps? Launch clamps there. Let's throw on some fins just because. Can't hurt. And then we're gonna want the fairing on there. There we are. Okay. Alright, let's check the staging. You guys should burn. That should light as soon as those guys are discarded. That. I'm gonna put this there, so that. Deploy the fairings, then detach that, ignite that engine. Alright, everything looks good. Alright, who's going? Not Jeb and Bill. Jeb and Bill did the last one. I would say Valentina should pilot. And Dealey Kerman should be the scientist on board. Okay. Sounds good. Let's go ahead and put it on the pad. That was a fairly long design process, but as the vehicles get larger and more complicated, the design process is going to be longer and more complex. And we had to run some tests to make sure that everything was going to work. And I am going to go ahead and ascent guidance this whole thing, engage the autopilot, and make it work. That's going to get us to a pretty nice speed. Hopefully, these will separate properly. There we go. much life support do I have on board? Oh, 24 days. We've got plenty. Why does this only say the 79 kilometers? I mean, that works. Actually, that's probably better to have. But I certainly didn't set that to 79 kilometers. Oh well. Yeah, probably overbuilt this rocket a little bit. Barely even touched this fuel tank. We still do have to do an orbital insertion. Now, when we get above 70, the fairings should separate. There we go. And then the solar panels. Now here's the thing. I am probably actually going to have to fire up those reactors to do the docking, because these magnetoplasma dynamic Rcs Thrusters are going to drain the electric charge. That's alright. Okay. Here we are. What I think I'll go ahead and do here is probably just end the episode at this point. And then what I'll do is I'll take care of rendezvous and docking on my own. Well, maybe at least rendezvous, maybe not docking. Because if I were to say, let's do the rendezvous. Let's see, longbow, set as target. We'd want to plan the maneuver, and we want to do the transfer to target. The node would take 4 hours, 6 minutes, and 57 seconds, which is going to require quite a bit of time acceleration here. So I'd probably want to break the recording anyway for the time acceleration, and we're already pretty good into this episode, so gravity scan. I need to get together a rocket that is just going to do gravity scans. Just make it an unmanned rocket, load it up with the gravioli detectors, and send it up here to grab all of the gravity science. It's probably not a bad idea to do here at some point. Alright. So, I'll go ahead and end here. This mission is on its way. Get this thing all docked next episode, and then begin the process of making the burns happen. Alright, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.